the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. From the Jamborees to the Superdome, your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Todd Black, Jimmy Roy, and Cade Wazan.
Good evening and welcome to this round two playoff edition of the Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours, Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. We appreciate everyone tuning in tonight, whether it's via 104.5 ESPN's YouTube channel or to our friends watching us on Your View. That's Channel 4 here in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and Lafayette. If you were watching on Your View, you watched a Division II quarterfinal matchup go final. University High School out of Baton Rouge gets the win over De La Salle, 29-7. They advance to take on Vanderbilt Catholic in the semifinals of Division II next week. Lots of games played tonight here in the capital city. That's where we originate the program. But, guys, across the state, as far as the Big Three are concerned, we've seen more games with a wider margin of victory tonight than the first week.
Real quick about the De La Salle game. Mm-hmm. It was funny because that probably should have been the score at half, just not the way it happened.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah, that should have been a little bit more of a separation with a couple of situations where U High was in position to score, and I guess they gave De La Salle chances to stay in that ball game, and I don't think De La Salle took full advantage of it.
I thought a critical mistake was De La Salle got the ball back with, I think, a minute 16 on the minus 15, and it was 15-7 at that point. U High had totally dominated the first half of the game, but the score was still a one-play game. It was a one-score game plus an extra point or a 2-point extra point. But De La Salle, instead of just running out the clock, taking it right there, being satisfied, being down 15-7 and regrouping, they decided to try to move the football. They ran it. They threw the second down. U High stopped the clock, stopped them on third down, forced a punt. De La Salle shanked it. Their special teams was really bad tonight on their punt team. U High got the football back at the 35-yard line. 2 plays later, they hit a 23-yard touchdown pass to Austin Alsbury, and that really separated. It went to 22-7. That quick when it should have been a 15-7 halftime score.
So I didn't get to see that play. I was walking up to be actually with Jeff and those guys. Was it just a straight? Was it a fluke play? Was it just he got behind the receiver?
No, they matched him up. You know, he don't play much offense, but he's a outstanding defensive back, a good kid with good ball skills. They put him out one-on-one and just ran him down the sideline, and he just basically threw a jump ball, and he out-jumped him and made a play.
Wow.
It was a heck of a play by Alsbury. No if and or but about it.
But going, I guess, Cade, to your point, Neville got away with one tonight barely over Karen Crow. And, there was Cecilia Lakeshore, which went overtime. How many overtime games we have?
Two overtime.
2 double overtime, right? Or no?
Rose Pine was one in Double-A.
Okay.
That was an interesting game up there. We expected a high-scoring game with Red River. That one went to double overtime. Rose Pine was up 21-0 in that game. Rose Pine comes back, and they end up tying it, go to double overtime. Rose Pine goes for 2 in the second overtime and converts it to win 43-42.
Wow.
And Franklinton upsets number 2 Lauraville tonight.
Franklin.
That's a big one.
And we want to talk to this guy. I mean, he's a young coach, was kind of the interim. And, man, Franklin has been a doormat for a while. And all of a sudden, you start seeing a little bit more of them. And, they're making a great run. And to go to Lauraville, they played them earlier in the season. They lost by 3. And to turn around and go there and win was a tough task for his team to do. And that's a big win.
Another 2A or 2 seed losing tonight in 5A. Are we going to a scoreboard? So
we will, yeah.
Well, yeah. Captain Shreve losing to Parkway in a rematch, 30-23.
You and I talked about that.
That's going to be a theme the last 2 weeks with the rematch getting the other team getting the better. We look at Denham Springs in that case too. It seems like the other teams. I don't know if that's just a trend, if it normally favors the team that wins, and this year go around it seems it's the other team. I don't know.
I think you've seen some of both. But the thing that jumps out here is Parkway lost 3 players in that game when it was really close with Captain Shreve late in the game. I think halftime it was actually tied.
Parkway was up by 7.
Parkway was up at 7.5. Okay, and they got those guys back. They've been playing well here lately, and they're on to the quarterfinals against Acadiana. And
they didn't turn over the ball like they did probably in that first game, because I think they had like 3 or 4 turnovers, did Parkway, and that's a big win. Acadiana. Well, let's talk about Ouachita Denham Springs real quick. That was just crazy, 95-yard.
Denham Springs going. Let me pull up the text I got.
Well, you can't read it completely because it's kind of bad, isn't it?
No, it's from one of our guys at Peak over there, Steve Wilson, good friend of ours. Went to school with my son. I'm not
family
that
program.
Far. Denham Springs was on the 2-yard line with a chance to go up, or was up. At that point, 7-6, they had a kid, he said, was clearly down. The ball hit the heel of the defender, bounced straight up into the defender's hand. Ref failed to call him down, and the kid took it 95 yards to the house. I had 2 different people there who probably don't even know each other, and both of them had said it was a bad call. So ended up 20-13, 20-14. Ouachita Parish escapes.
Well, Denham. I hate saying this at this time of year because it's not, to say, oh, you played good. That doesn't give you that, okay, thank you feeling. It just sucks to lose, period. But, I didn't think that Denham would be that close, to be honest. So I thought they did really well.
We talked about that. I thought it'd be a good matchup because just the way that Dutchtown played Ouachita went through a brutal stretch playing, Ruston, West Monroe, and Ash. Back to back to back. 2 of those games went into overtime. But their style of play was very similar to what Dutchtown did, is very similar to what Central does. So I thought that Denham Springs matched up with them pretty well.
Well, let's find out who has advanced to Turkey Week so far here in the second round of the playoffs. It's round 2 in the classifications. It's the quarterfinals on the select division sides. We'll start first with Class 5A.
Class 5A playoff bracket, served by walk-ons.
Zachary, a field goal better than East Ascension 24-21. West Monroe 49, Chalmette 7. Ruston a 56-16 winner over Benton. Destrehan 29, Woodlawn of Baton Rouge 20. Ponchatoula 50, John Ehret 7. Ouachita Parish in a close one, 20-14 over Denham Springs. Acadiana 56, Santa Maria 23, and Parkway 30, Captain Shreve 23.
Class 4A playoff bracket, cared for by Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours.
Edna Carr 53, Eunice 7. George Washington Carver 40, Plaquemine 12. Westgate 16-7 winner over Leesville. Northwood Shreveport 19, North DeSoto 9. Warren Easton 67, Opelousas 6. Belle Chase a 31-28 winner over Huntington. Cecilia 44, Lakeshore 37. And Neville over Carrickroad 19-15.
Class 3A playoff bracket, presented by Livingston Parish Councilman Gary Talbert.
Sterlington defeats Westlake 51-27. Madison Prep last night defeats St. James 33-10. Church Point shuts out Donaldsonville 35-0. West Feliciana upsets Iowa 35-27. St. Martinville over Iota 62-28. Bogalusa and Lutcher still in progress. Union Parish shuts out Gina 22-0. And Abbyville 28, Wassman 20.
Class 2A playoff bracket, pumped by Peak Performance.
Manny defeats East Feliciana 51-22. Rose Pine a point better than Red River 43-42. North Caddo 58, DeQuincy 28. Avoyles a 30-21 winner over Winfield. General Trask 40, Welsh 20. Amite 35-20 winner over Kinder. Jonesboro Hodge safety better than Mangum 20-18. Franklin 2 points better than Loreville 16-12. to 14.
Class 1A playoff bracket, strengthened by Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Logansport shuts out Arcadia 50-0. Basile 26, Delta Charter 14. West St. John 18-6 winner over Slaughter Charter. Oak Grove 41, East Beauregard 14. Grand Lake 13, Oberlin 7. Haynesville 48, Lincoln Prep 13. LaSalle and White Castle are still in progress. And Homer 46, Northwood Lena 6.
The Select Division I playoff bracket, cared for by Lake Urgent Care. Lake After Hours.
Catholic and St. Aug are still in progress. St. Paul is a 20-17 winner over Scotlandville. Brother Martin 45, C.E. Bird 14. Jesuit, point better than Curtis, 14-13.
The Select Division II playoff bracket, presented by Livingston Parish Councilman Gary Talbert.
Edie White defeats Parkview 21-3. St. Thomas More 63, Liberty 35. Vanderbilt Catholic 31, Loyola Prep 24. And University High 29, De La Salle 7.
The Select Division III playoff bracket, pumped by Peak Performance.
Lafayette Christian over Ascension Episcopal 33-10. Newman 37, Episcopal 6. St. Charles Catholic shuts out Dunham 27-0. And Notre Dame 42, St. Thomas Aquinas 7.
The Select Division IV playoff bracket, strengthened by Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Ouachita Christian shuts out Ascension Catholic 42-0. Calvary Baptist over Sacred Heart 63-7. St. Frederick 31, Vermilion Catholic 7. And Southern Lab 39, Metairie Park Country Day 6.
Do you have or have you had COVID-19? Antibody screening or rapid molecular testing can tell you. Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours offers both with results from molecular testing in minutes. Learn more at lakeurgentcare.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
Bayou Ford has 0% for 60 months on new Ford F-150s. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And now 0% for 60.
The Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to round 2, playoff edition of the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy producing the program tonight. On audio is Ryan Kennedy, Taylor Sharp on video. We got Skip and Will gathering scores behind the scenes. Everyone else on assignment tonight, I believe.
Okay, do you think any teams are celebrating at walk-ons right now?
You know, this is the perfect spot and the perfect weekend to celebrate at walk-ons. You got family coming in town next week. You know you're going to be busy with Turkey Week. So I would go and celebrate this weekend. People mention, it's been a rough year for the Tigers, right? But you only got 2 weekends left to tailgate. And you can make it count by pre-gaming over at walk-ons on campus or going to town center. We love the location over in Zachary and in Prairieville. So, and hey, props to the team over in Hammond, too. Beautiful location out there.
And speaking of tailgating, we have to say a thank you to the guys out at U-High. They had a really nice tailgate party going on.
I didn't get none.
Well, that's because you was on Todd. That's because you was on Todd Black time. But Norm Sundstrom and Chuck Musgrove, our good friend over there at Roto-Rooter, a sponsor of ours. I think probably from the first year we ever started this with Roto-Rooter.
He has.
Been with
Absolutely
us.
has.
Just some good people, and they had a really nice tailgate over there.
Back when kids' sunglasses were stuck in the toilet.
They still are.
Scored just win final. Catholic High.
Yeah.
Survived St. Aug 42-35. St. Aug jumped to a 21-7 lead in that one, and Catholic High came back, tied at 21-21. St. Aug goes up 28-21 and goes back and forth, ties up. St. Aug, every time Catholic High would come back, St. Aug would answer, but then they got a couple scores to separate it. So a heck of a game. They will advance to play in an upset, St. Paul's, in overtime over Scotlandville.
White Castle stops who am I sitting there trying to think of? LaSalle on a 2-point conversion with 27 seconds left. They go off and they win 41 to 40. And then the other final we had was Lutcher in a big way over Bogalusa. So all the Turkey Week games are set.
Going back to that Catholic High St. Aug game, we talked about it kind of walking around over at campus of U-High tonight for the game of the week, how competitive St. Aug was with Zachary, how much of a shootout that game was. The similar styles you guys pointed out with St. Aug and maybe Woodlawn, and what Woodlawn was able to do, being very multidimensional, going up against Catholic, running the ball, passing the ball. And, I didn't know a whole lot about the St. Aug team, but I tell you what, they came ready to play, and they delivered every punch. Because that was the feeling and the flow of the game against Woodlawn. It was punch for punch. In this one in particular, St. Aug delivered a couple up front.
St. Aug started the season slow. With the hurricane, you had a couple canceled games. Then they go out and they play Zachary, a 45-35 game in their first game of the year, I think it was. Then they had to forfeit a game up in there, and took them a little while to find out who exactly.
Their athletic director was released.
Yeah, find out they had about 8 kids in question, and they end up getting everybody back, and then they kind of get on a little roll at the end. Won 4 of their last 5, won 3 straight, had a big win last week over Shaw, and then comes back and gives Catholic High all they want. They're big. They were huge up front, but credit to Cadillac High for, talking off the air between us. You mentioned one. You said Coach David Brewington would probably be pretty upset with a 24-21 win.
For sure, yeah.
And Todd was saying you take them whether it's 1 point or 40 right now. It doesn't matter. So Cadillac High does survive.
Yeah, I know that in playoff mode, it was a quote last week, if I'm not mistaken, from Coach David Oliver, and it was the idea that, look, you can get into the week and you can start cleaning it up, but a win's a win in the playoffs. You survive in advance. Now, knowing Coach Brew the way we do, that's why I was thinking about that, because every time they won 36-0, yet you can go and find something that you really want to work on.
The thing with Zachary tonight was they turned the football over 4 times, 3 in the first half. I mean,
then and there,
3 in the first quarter. And Todd and I was talking today on the phone. We both predicted Zachary to win pretty good, but we also said the only way, the biggest thing was East Ascension had to keep it close early in the ballgame. Todd said the first 6 minutes. I said a little over the first quarter. It was 14-0 EA. And so they gave EA the momentum. They gave them the belief that they could win, and they hung with them, and it gets down to the end. Zachary survives it.
It was like West Feliciana. I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us thought they could play with Iowa, but did they think they could play with Iowa, meaning the kids? I mean, but more so when a big name comes in, you're going to play the name for about the first 4 or 5 minutes, and then once you realize, hey, I can play with these guys, it kind of all changes. And this happens, so often. And I was worried for U-High just simply because they were doing that. They were simply allowing De La Salle to stay around, and they had those plays there towards the end of the game. But their defense was
legit.
Yeah.
Their defense.
Yeah, look, I know that it didn't necessarily go maybe the way Coach Martin would have wanted in the first quarter for sure, in the first half, the flow of the game. But that defense it was smothering it at times. And that's a defense that I can see in, well, I won't say Superdome, I guess, Yulman Stadium, but or wherever they're going to play the championships. That's a championship caliber defense when you can hold teams that way.
They're good up front. They got decent size up front. I don't think they're overly huge up front,
right?
But they have good size. They have good linebacker play in both of them. They're long on the corners. They got some length to them that can run. And you got a couple good safeties, and the big thing is that it allows you to play whatever kind of defense you want. They can press on the corners and play man free, allow the free safety to just roam or to come downhill for the run. Linebackers are good enough to cover in space. They're good enough to stop the run. Now, although De La Salle did have a little success in the first half on the left side of their offense, they were able to get one drive going, and that was really it.
And the adjustment, I was going to add, that's the other part. There's so many times you don't see a coach make an adjustment. And whatever it was they were beating them on, they didn't do it anymore. And I think that's, a full sign of a great coaching staff. And, who do they have next? They have Vanderbilt Catholic next, I believe.
Vanderbilt Catholic, yeah.
Cade.
Yes. This is the second year in a row they've played U-High in the postseason, and it was earlier. Yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah.
How's that work? Are the Terriers coming to town, or does U-High have to make the
Were
trip?
you going to host a party
That'll
for
be
them?
at U-High.
Oh, that's right.
And let's explain that right now, Todd. And this year, I think, is the first year they've done this, or they may have did it last year, and they ended up not doing it because of the COVID things. On the select side, the highest seed starting tonight in the quarterfinals was the host, no matter what.
No matter what, okay.
Even if you didn't have the bye, the highest seed hosted. And that did affect a couple of teams. Like it was really only in Division 4. St. Frederick's traveled where they would have normally been at home. It was somebody else, too, that should have been at home, but they traveled. But next week are semifinals, so all of those will be the highest seed in the select side.
St. Frederick's defense traveled.
Yeah. Man, you want to talk about another shocker? They played we knew their defense was good. We didn't know how good their offense was, but a 14 St. Frederick beats Vermilion Catholic 31-7. Look, St. Frederick got down. They were one of them we were talking about back in week 10 where they were, 7-2 or somewhere around there, and had to win week 10 to get into the playoffs, and they did as a 14 seed
that was
out
Delta
of 16.
Charter. Delta Charter.
Yeah. Well, you can speak on that one too. Delta Charter was in 1A and had been outscored 100-0 in their last 2 games, but they got a first round bye.
Yep, 100-0.
And this is nothing against Delta Charter, so we're not making fun of that. We're making fun of it because it's the split.
Yeah.
Right.
So. All right, let's take a timeout. When we get back, another full scoreboard coming your way. The second round edition of the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and your view.
Do you have or have you had COVID-19? Antibody screening or rapid molecular testing can tell you. Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours offers both with results from molecular testing in minutes. Learn more at lakeurgentcare.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back North Airway off of Airline Highway.
Tonight, we invite you to celebrate life, wherever and whenever you can, understanding that time is never on our side. Instead, gather up your friends tonight and share a few stories and laughs over a good bottle of wine. Or maybe a family meal that gives everyone a chance to reconnect and remember what's really important, whether it's for a birthday, an anniversary, or simply to remind someone special that they are loved. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your...
The Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the playoff round 2 edition of the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. We'll get to a full scoreboard in all classes and divisions here in about 4 or 5 minutes. Right now, I want to jump on the GMFS Mortgage Hotline and speak with the Victoria's head coach, Andy Robinson from St. Frederick. They get the win tonight in the Division IV quarterfinals over Vermilion Catholic 31-7. And will face Southern Lab in the semis. Coach, congratulations on this win. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Making a little bus ride home. I feel like a little shorter anyway, I guess, huh?
A little unexpected bus ride. I understood that last week you were caught by surprise that you had to go on the road, but obviously glad you did.
Yeah, obviously that was something that was passed a few years ago with the rules. It wasn't really enforced last year. The Southern Lab traveled the second round of Cedar Creek, and it was brought to our attention really about midweek, and so I wasn't for sure, but you know it is what it is, man. Those teams are higher seeds, and they've earned the right to be at home. So you know you got to try to go on the road and beat them and take that us against the world kind of mentality, you know.
Coach, let's talk about your defense. You come into tonight allowing 8.7. You hold it. Vermilion Catholic is averaging 31.5 going into tonight. You hold them to 7 points. Just tell us about your defense and a few of your players.
Well, I mean, honestly, they pitched a shutout. You know, we intercepted the ball with about 2 minutes, 40 seconds left in the game. We were just trying to nail it out. And it leaves about a 20-second window, and they blocked the punt and ran it back for the touchdown there on us. So it was 20 seconds, I think, left when they blocked the punt and ran it back in. So, you know, I don't want to discredit the effort of our defense. They really shut them out. You know, and they've done that all year. You know, Billy Belle's our defensive coordinator. This is his 49th football season.
Wow.
A guy that's coached at some big-time programs, started at Spring Hill back in the day, coached at West Monroe High School, coached at Longview High School. Has been at St. Frederick since I got there, and this is my 4th year. Jeff Tannehill had him there as his defensive coordinator. So, you know, Coach Bell is very experienced, has a great staff with him. Jim Rushworth, a guy that's coached at some great places. And they got those guys playing at a high level. You know, we got 8 seniors on defense. I think it starts with our linebackers who are really good players and super productive. And then, you know, we had a freshman free safety pick one and take it to the house tonight. So, guys are just playing at a high level. The expectations there. And just super proud of our kids and proud of the effort tonight against Vermilion Catholic.
You know, Coach, Jimmy mentioned earlier, we knew your defense was solid. We just didn't know if the offense was going to be able to produce enough points. And they did, obviously, putting up 31 tonight. But you have to be proud of them as well.
Yeah, they have. You know, we got a young group up front, starting 2 freshman tackles and a sophomore center. So, you know, after 10 or 11 games, though, you feel like they aren't freshmen anymore, you know. And then our running backs finally gotten healthy. Michael Thompson, he's had some good games here down the stretch. And, you know, we're playing team football. You know, our philosophy is 4 downs and 4 quarters, and that's what we're locked in to do. And these guys have responded to that, you know. And I know we got another big one next week, and I haven't really looked at Southern Lab yet, just focusing in on the task at hand. But I know they're a super talented team, and they've earned the right to be that number 2 seed.
Talk about Michael Thompson, your running back.
Yeah, he's a guy that's a junior. He's kind of waited his time. You know, he came into this game last year. We played Vermilion. They bounced us in the first round, and he only had 1 carry in the game as a sophomore. It was a rainy night, and it kind of dictated some things we had to do with the football. And he had his issues holding on to it last year, but he came in this summer and locked back in, and he rolled his ankle pretty bad against Cedar Creek in week 2 in the first series, really, and then he rushed for 1,000 in the next 8 games. So he's back healthy now, and he's been productive for us. He runs hard. He holds on to the football. It's been key, and we've really been pleased with how he's playing, and look forward to keep going with him in the tailback.
Coach, you had games on your schedule with Oak Grove and also Ouachita Christian, and talk about how those games helped you. I mean, you've gone to Vermilion Catholic and Opelousas Catholic, which aren't 2 short trips, are easy places to play, and you've had a lot of success. And that itself is amazing that you're able to get those kids to get focused to come down here to do that 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, and I think it starts with our seniors. You know, we got 15 seniors on the team, so we're pretty mature. That's pretty big numbers for 1A or Division IV school. And those guys have had great leadership and focus. You know, we only played 3 road games during the regular season. Went to Cedar Creek early, won a 7-6 game, and then had a couple more district opponents on the road. And you know, these guys have handled it well. This trip was very similar to our Appaloosa trip as far as the paths we take and the places we stop. So we really repeated that last week. But you know, we've been bounced by Vermilion twice in the last 3 years, so these guys are familiar with that school and did things, and we kept our plan the same. And our guys played better. You know, we came down here 3 years ago, and those guys put 50 points on us in a half. And I sat here the whole ride back wondering how we were ever close that gap. And it was my first year in this division and some talented teams. And, you know, to come back last year and really be close, I think a 24-14 game, and then to come back and win this year just kind of shows the hard work and dedication of these guys and the leadership of our program.
Talking about leadership, if I got off the phone and didn't ask you about this young man, I would be in trouble. But, you know, I'm very familiar with the Tannehill family, and I think Gunner was a all-state, academic all-state, right, this year? Talk a little bit about him as a leader and as a football player for your team.
Man, Gunner's one of those throwback football players. His mom must have been really tough. I know Chad definitely didn't have that in him. But, I mean, Gunner's a guy that, he's played all year with some shoulder issues. His shoulder will come out on him, and he'll put it back in. He'll go right back in the game. He plays every snap on defense when he's healthy. He punts the ball for us. Just does a tremendous job. And he's a throwback player. He's so tough. He's physical. And he's smart, and I love him to death. He's played a lot of football for us in 3 years. He's basically been a 3-year starter, and he's a crucial part of our defense, and couldn't be more proud for him. And he is academic all-state, perfect 4.0, and like I said, his mom must have been tough and smart to death. So.
You got that right, man. But, hey, man, we're happy for you, and we've been keeping up with you all year, and man, for you to go down and get this win was a huge win for you and your team and all the hard work they've put in this year.
Yeah, it was, and I get clips. I know you guys cover a lot of the schools, and I know you guys have covered us, and I appreciate that. And I know it's a lot of hard work this time of year and getting coaches on, and just appreciate you guys and what you're doing for high school football. And you're always welcome in North Louisiana if you need anything from us up there for sure.
Thank you, Coach. Y'all be careful and enjoy that bus ride. It's going to be a fun one.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Y'all have a great night. Thanks for having me.
You know, Todd, those bus rides, I do actually miss them. A lot of people hated them. But after a big win like that,
they pass through a car wash after something like that.
Yeah.
Prior to,
it's a blast.
Look, next week could be a real strong defensive battle. Going back the last 4 weeks, Southern Lab has only given up 12 points total, and St. Fred has played heck of defense as well.
So I talked to a former player of ours, Jimmy Ayers, and he's over at Vermilion Catholic, and I talked about the defense. He said, we're going to score. Well, that's how good the St. Frederick defense is. Yeah. They're playing, on cue right now, and if you're playing good defense and you can run the football at this time of the year, you're going to have a chance to win.
And maybe he won't say it, maybe he will, but I think after hearing the story from him, getting that win over Vermilion Catholic after what happened in year 1, I think makes it a little bit sweeter going into tonight. Let's get you caught up on what's happening so far in all of the scoreboards, and we'll start first in Class 5A.
Class 5A playoff bracket, served by walk-ons.
Zachary defeats East Ascension tonight 24-21. West Monroe over Chalmette 49-7. Ruston a 56-16 winner over Benton. Destrehan 29, Woodlawn 20. Ponchatoula 50, John Eyre at 7. Ouachita Parish touchdown better than Denham 20-14. Acadiana 56, San Amaro 23. Captain Shreve drops Parkway 30, Captain Shreve 23.
Class 4A playoff bracket, cared for by Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours.
Edna Carr 53, Eunice 7. George Washington Carver 40, Plaquemine 12. Westgate, 16-7 winner over Leesville. Northwood Shreveport, 19. North DeSoto, 9. Warren Easton, 67. Opelousas, 6. Belle Chase, 31. Huntington, 28. Cecilia, 44. Lakeshore, 37. And Neville, 19. Carencro, 15.
Class 3A Playoff Bracket, presented by Livingston Parish Councilman Gary Talbert.
Sterlington over Westlake tonight, 51-27. Madison Prep, 33. St. James, 10. Winner last night. Church Point, 35. Donaldsonville, 0. West Feliciana, 35. Iowa, 27. St. Martinville, 62. Iota, 28. Lutcher all over Bogalusa, 54-26. Union Parish shuts out Gina, 22-0. And Abbyville over Wassman, 28-20.
Class 2A Playoff Bracket, pumped by Peak Performance.
Manny over East Feliciana, 51-22. Rose Pine, a point better than Red River, 43-42. North Caddo, 58. DeQuincy, 28. Avoyles, 30. Winfield, 21. Gerald Trask, 40. Welsh, 20. Amite defeats Kinder, 35-20. Jonesboro Hodge, 20. Mangum, 18. And Franklin upsets Loreauville, 16-14.
Class 1A Playoff Bracket, strengthened by Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Logan Sports blanks Arcadia, 50-0. Basile, 26. Delta Charter, 14. West St. John over Slaughter Charter, 18-6. Oak Grove over East Beauregard, 41-14. Grand Lake defeats Oberlin, 13-7. Haynesville over Lincoln Prep, 48-13. White Castle, a point better than LaSalle, 41-40. And Homer, 46. Northwood Lena, 6.
The Select Division I Playoff Bracket, cared for by Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours.
Catholic Baton Rouge was a winner tonight over St. Aug. St. Paul, field goal better than Scotlandville, 20-17. Brother Martin, 45. C.E. Bird, 14. Jesuit, point better than John Curtis, 14-13.
The Select Division II Playoff Bracket, presented by Livingston Parish Councilman Gary Talbert.
Edie White over Parkview tonight, 21-3. St. Thomas More, 63. Liberty, 35. Vanderbilt Catholic, 31. Loyola Prep, 24. And University High, 29. De La Salle, 7.
The Select Division III Playoff Bracket, pumped by Peak Performance.
Lafayette Christian over Ascension Episcopal tonight, 33-10. Newman, 37. Episcopal, 6. St. Charles Catholic shuts out Dunham, 27-0. Notre Dame, 42. St. Thomas Aquinas, 7.
The Select Division IV Playoff Bracket, strengthened by Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Ouachita Christian, 42. Ascension Catholic, 0. Calvary Baptist all over Sacred Heart, 63-7. St. Frederick, 31. Vermilion Catholic, 7. Southern Lab, 39. Country Day, 6.
Do you have or have you had COVID-19? Antibody screening or rapid molecular testing can tell you. Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours offers both with results from molecular testing in minutes. Learn more at lakeurgentcare.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back, North Airway off of Airline Highway.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and
The Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Class 5A playoff bracket served by walk-ons.
Class 5A tonight, it was Zachary over East Ascension 24-21. West Monroe over Chalmette 49-7. Ruston over Benton 56-16. Destran over Woodlawn of Baton Rouge 29-20. Ponchatoula tops John Eyre at 50-7. Ouachita Parish over Denham Springs 20-14. Acadiana over Santa Maria 56-23. And Parkway over Captain Shreve, the number 2 seed, 30-23. Welcome back. Round 2 of the playoffs here for the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Before we get to our top of the hour break, looking at Class 5A tonight in reaction from what we've seen. We mentioned earlier the upset with Captain Shreve falling tonight. And a close one for Ouachita and Denham Springs.
Yeah, I think the games that jump out to me really more, obviously Parkway winning does, but this is a Zachary Central game. We touched on that one earlier. And West Monroe, the way they came down and played Chalmette. Chalmette hadn't had much success. They won their first 5A playoff game last week, and I think their first playoff game since 2004, if I'm not mistaken. But what West Monroe team is going to show up every week seems to be the question. You know, North Shore, they go to double overtime last week in a game that they should have won handedly. Their 3 losses are to really good teams in Catholic, Neville, and Ouachita, but they've been up and they've been down, and you just don't know what's going to show up. But I can tell you, you won't have any problems getting their attention when they come to Zachary next week. And those two played in the preseason scrimmage. and Zachary had their way with them, but most of it came off of big plays. So,
what time they start cooking the pasta for that week?
It'll probably be around 2:00 or so. So I know where we're going.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll go down in the next bracket. Ruston, Benton had tried to play Bird earlier in the year. They couldn't stop the run. They couldn't stop the run tonight versus Ruston. They advance, and they're going to get a rematch from last year's quarterfinals against Destrehan. I kind of question how good Destrehan is just because of who they have not played. And Woodlawn played them pretty well. I actually had Woodlawn maybe beating them tonight. And so that's going to be interesting. But the other team, Jimmy, teams out of the North Shore are usually a couple games in, and then they just fade away. Ponchatoula is different this year.
Well, they seem to be. We talked about that district being a weak district. But the one thing that Ponchatoula has done this year, if you remember a couple years ago when they had T.J. Finley and they played Denham Springs, it was like a 70 to 60-something type game.
Yeah.
They threw it all over the place, but was terrible. Now it's kind of backwards. Defense is allowing 6.3. They've held their opponents to 14 or less in 8 out of their 9 games. Let's see, 9 out of 10 now, and 3 of those games were shutouts. So, they have All-American Jacoby Matthews, who's a 5-star safety that everybody in the country's after. He's committed to LSU, then he decommitted. LSU's still in the hunt for him. And look, Todd, I agree with that. I had said before the playoff brackets come out, Ponchatoula would lose round 2 just because of their schedule. But they got a really, really good draw. The top half's really heavy. The bottom half is not so much. I can't see Ouachita beating them. I'm going to be honest with you. I think they play Acadiana in the semifinals. The top half of that bracket, my God, Zachary, West Monroe, Ruston travels to Destrehan.
The last time Acadiana and Parkway played, I know it was in the Superdome, and I think it was like a 71 type game.
That's when the quarterback from Parkway who was it? Came to LSU.
Oh, you're killing me on this. I got it right. Number 6, Brandon Harris.
Yep.
And but Acadiana looked real good. I mean, they were up on Santa Monica tonight, 29-0 right off the bat, and
they're starting to roll.
Well, I was going to talk to you about that because early on it was a concern from us being Monday morning quarterback, but Coach always seemed pretty good with where he stood with the quarterbacks and how they progressed.
It would have been really, really easy. You got to remember they took Jeremiah Brown, who was their quarterback last year, off of a state championship team. They won back-to-back state championships, and move him back to defensive back, and they play a sophomore in Hayden Trahan, however you want to say it, where you're from. And he's just gotten more and more reps, and he's gotten better and better. They lose 2 games early in the year. They lose to Calicut and Lafayette Christian in back-to-back weeks, and everybody's saying, what's wrong with them? Well, nothing.
Those teams are still in the postseason.
Now they've won 9 in a row. And, look, they're doing this without LaTerrence Welch, who's committed to LSU, who blew out his knee. Yeah, he's going to have ACL surgery. So,
are they the most dangerous number 7?
Yes.
I just think that's a tough spot. I mean, you're position wise, and it's all about matchups. I understand, but if you're getting Acadiana, I feel like they're coming to form right now.
I really thought going into this thing to start the playoffs, I thought Zachary, even though West Monroe is 6 and 7 or whatever they are in 3, I thought they had a chance. I thought Ruston had a chance. I thought Destrehan had a chance, and I thought Acadiana had a chance. The bottom half, Acadiana.
Is that 1 through 6 seeds?
No.
Jeez,
no.
I'm messing with you, dude. Go ahead.
I had to go make sure. 1, 9, 4, 5, and 7. So, but I thought Acadiana got a really good draw to where they didn't meet up with one of the top 4 teams. So
5A is quite competitive, and from top to bottom, I still to this day kind of wish we'd have a Zachary Catholic High matchup somewhere in the postseason. Maybe in a perfect world we can bring this stuff back together.
It might happen.
But Zachary West Monroe will be interesting next week, and I get the feeling it's going to be pretty packed.
Oh, it should be. And the only thing is being Thanksgiving weekend.
True.
A lot of times when we go to quarterfinal games, it does not have the crowd. You have Black Friday shopping and knock that out of the way and get.
You do that at midnight.
You like doing that though?
No, I've never done it, but I mean, honestly, it does affect.
How you think he got all his charcoal last year?
Marla pulls him to the mall at 6 a.m. He gets in front of those kids at Walmart, beating the crap out of them to get the toy soldier.
He's the
fullback.
Have
to go to Toys R Us for the grandkids and bring my tent when I leave here. I mean, leave on Thursday night, I guess.
You guys talk about it. We got a break here coming up. You want to get to Turkey Week. You want to get that extra full week of practice that you get. Kind of everything is
no distractions.
No distractions. You're able to get that extra week. For so many teams, it's just worth it. Getting it year to year.
And once you get to that time, that's when you really realize that you have a shot.
Yep.
Anything can happen at that point, and that's your goal. First goal that you have is to get to quarterfinal weeks, and then hey, anything can happen.
All right, special guest coming up, Coach. When we get back,
Tremaine Johnson. Tremaine is the head coach of Franklin High School, and they've caught my eye a little bit, but I kind of was upset with myself because.
Do you have or have you had COVID-19? Antibody screening or rapid molecular testing can tell you. Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours offers both with results from molecular testing in minutes. Learn more at lakeurgentcare.com.
Tonight, we invite you to celebrate life, wherever and whenever you can, understanding that time is never on our side. Instead, gather up your friends tonight and share a few stories and laughs over a good bottle of wine. Or maybe a family meal that gives everyone a chance to reconnect and remember what's really important, whether it's for a birthday, an anniversary, or simply to remind someone special that they are loved. Rufino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
un caffè. Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Hand Injury Lawyers, the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. From the Jamborees to the Superdome, your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Todd Black, Jimmy Roy, and Cade Wazan.
Good evening and welcome to the Round 2 playoff edition. Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours, Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. Looking at the scores here in just a bit, we'll give you a full scoreboard from all classifications and divisions. Well, first, we'll jump on the phone line once again, and we're going to join a victorious head coach, Tremaine Johnson from Franklin. The first time we have had a chance to speak with Coach Johnson as they get the win tonight over Laurelville, 16-14 in the Class 2A bracket. They advance to take on Jonesboro Hodge. Coach, congratulations on this win, and thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
Did you think I was pulling your leg when I first called you?
Yeah.
Look, man, Tremaine graduated from Franklin in 2010, right?
Right.
And in 2018, he was kind of thrown in as the interim head coach. The principal liked what he saw. And obviously, Coach, how, go ahead.
27, 26 when you got the job?
25 when I got the job.
Wow.
Man. Well, you got to be the talk of the town, man. Talk to us a little bit how you've reached these kids like no other, coach has. You've just a couple years ago, I think, what was it, Jimmy? They had won 4 games.
Four wins in the 4 years before Coach Johnson took over.
Which is 2018, right?
Yeah.
So talk a little bit to us about that and tell us your story, man. I think it's awesome.
It was always good that the kids kind of relate to me because we come from the same background, same community. So I kind of reach them a little bit different from other guys that came before.
What were some of the things that you did to build this program up to where it is today?
I got to bring that back to the guys that were my coaches when I was here. Coaches like Zeb Simon and C.C. Paul. And I just when I did get the job, I just told those seniors, you guys are going to help me build this foundation. And they trusted me, and I trusted them, and they built a strong foundation for me.
How many's on your roster right now, Coach?
My roster right now, I have 28.
And you've probably gotten a lot of those kids out of the halls. And, when you're winning games, man, they're going to come out and you're going to keep building that program.
Yeah, that's the goal, and that's the plan, to keep on building this program. And let's just get some tradition back.
Coach, I guess if I'm doing my math right, and that's questionable, this group of seniors were freshmen when you started. So this is your first group that have come full through the program. What does that mean to you, kind of looking back and seeing the foundation you laid here, but with this group and what they're looking to accomplish this season?
A lot of those freshmen were thrown in the fire when I first came, and they didn't complain, they didn't cry. They came and they worked their tails off, and we always say, you get out what you put in, and they've been putting the work in since freshmen, so they're starting to reap those rewards.
Coach, you right now 7-3 on the year. The losses are to Ascension Episcopal School, which is a really good team, Patterson and Laurelville, and that was a 5-point game. You get that revenge game, I guess you could call it, tonight over a number 2 seed Laurelville. Just talk about the strength of the schedule that you've played.
We pride ourselves on having the toughest 25 kids against whoever we play. So we kind of practice different. We have a different type of mindset over here, and we just go out and compete.
What you say that y'all have a different mindset and you practice different. How do you practice with that little bit of kids?
we just everybody knows it. Next is you got to compete. There's no one. Your number could be called at any time. So all our guys are ready to go.
Y'all
We
hit.
have this thing that we don't get nervous.
So y'all hit a lot during practice.
Yeah, we hit a lot.
So you said in one of your comments that, you want the kids, and I think it's a great philosophy, don't think anything other than don't think about the last game, don't think about the next game, think about right now, think about being in the moment, because sometimes those kids get their minds going in every which way and you can't get their attention, but to keep them focused on the moment is huge.
Right. We also say that, focus on what you got to do at that moment, at that time, and it'll work out for us.
Last time you played Laurelville, got into a shootout with them, 47-42. Tonight is a defensive battle, 16-14. Take us through the game tonight.
Tonight we aren't the same team we were week 3. We was kind of still finding ourselves. We didn't have a jamboree. We didn't have a first game. So, there was 3 games ahead of us. And some guys are still trying to fill out positions. We made some defensive changes. My defensive coordinator watched film. We discussed. We made some adjustments, and we were ready to go.
Did y'all start off leading tonight, or did y'all tell us about the flow of the game?
Oh yeah, they started off with a touchdown. We came and scored and went for 2. Unfortunately, our kicker got hurt maybe 3 weeks ago, so it kind of forced us to go for 2, but it worked out in our favor.
Well, man, we appreciate you taking the time. I'm going to shoot you the video of this here shortly, and we're going to get it out to Franklin, and so all the people know you're popular and the most famous guy from Franklin.
Appreciate it.
Hey, man, we appreciate you, man. You keep doing a good job and working with those kids and getting them to do the right thing, man. And they're going to be where you want them before you know it.
Appreciate you guys.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
All right. Thanks.
Todd, I think, they're gonna host, actually. They'll host Jonesboro Hodge in the next round, and that's a winnable game also. When
I did call him, he's kind of just quiet. He didn't say it. I'm thinking, because he's young, and he's thinking I'm pulling his leg. He don't think I'm
pulling a prank on him.
ESPN Baton Rouge. What?
Yeah, right. But Jonesboro Hodge, they've got a good quarterback, 6'5", 200 pounds. He can throw it around. They played a good Mangum team tonight, and they advanced. So
that one kind of surprised me. Mangum, their 3 losses coming into tonight were to Sterlington, General Trask, and Ouachita Christian, which were all undefeated going into it. And Jonesboro Hodge lost a couple of weeks ago to D'Arbonne Woods, which was a shocker, So then you don't really know. The quarterback you're talking about is Tydree Malone. In the last 2 weeks, I think, not counting tonight, I don't know what he did tonight, has thrown for like 10 or 11 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks.
He got a good delivery. He doesn't look like he has the strongest of arms, but good delivery. Those 2 pretty accurate. And, hey, they've come out of nowhere too.
They have a defensive player, Xavier Atkins, 167 tackles, 22 tackles for loss of 6 sacks. So he must be playing linebacker and blitzing a good bit.
At least if he's playing safety, that'd be uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's get you caught up.
Man, we got some people hurting around here
You got to get to Lake Urgent Care.
Yeah, what y'all doing?
Class 5A playoff bracket, served by walk-ons.
West Monroe will travel down to Zachary, and Ruston will travel to Destrehan. Ouachita Parish will travel to Ponchatoula, and Parkway will travel to Acadiana.
Class 4A playoff bracket, cared for by Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours.
George Washington Carver will host Edna Carr, and Northwood Shreveport will host Westgate. Warren Easton will host Belle Chase, and Cecilia will travel up to Neville.
Class 3A playoff bracket, presented by Livingston Parish Councilman Gary Talbert.
Madison Prep will travel up north to Sterlington, and West Feliciana will travel over to Church Point. Lutcher will travel over to St. Martinville, and Abbyville will host Union Parish.
Class 2A playoff bracket, pumped by Peak Performance.
Rose Pine will travel to Manny, and Avoyelles will travel to North Caddo. Amite will travel on over to General Chasse, and Franklin will host Jonesboro Hodge.
Class 1A playoff bracket, strengthened by Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Bayou will host Logansport, and Oak Grove will travel down to Edgar to play West St. John. Grand Lake will host Haynesville, and Homer will travel to White Castle.
The Select Division I playoff bracket, cared for by Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours.
St. Paul will travel to Memorial to play Catholic High, and Brother Martin, short trip to Jesuit.
The Select Division II playoff bracket, presented by Livingston Parish Councilman Gary Talbert.
St. Thomas More will travel to Thibodaux to face Edie White, and University High will host Vanderbilt Catholic.
The Select Division III playoff bracket, pumped by Peak Performance.
Newman will travel to Lafayette to face Lafayette Christian, and St. Charles Catholic will travel to Crowley to face Notre Dame.
The Select Division IV playoff bracket, strengthened by Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Ouachita Christian will host Calvary Baptist, and Southern Lab will host St. Frederick.
Do you have or have you had COVID-19? Antibody screening or rapid molecular testing can tell you. Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours offers both with results from molecular testing in minutes. Learn more at lakeurgentcare.com.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli? I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back, North Airway off of Airline Highway.
Tonight, we invite you to celebrate life, wherever and whenever you can, understanding that time is never on our side. Instead, gather up your friends tonight and share a few stories and laughs over a good bottle of wine. Or maybe a family meal that gives everyone a chance to reconnect and remember what's really important, whether it's for a birthday, an anniversary, or simply to remind someone special that they are loved. Rafino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
The Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to round 2 of the playoffs here on the Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. And a special thanks again to the team at BSN for outfitting us throughout the season. It is in the 30s and 40s and downright cold. When you had the wind, I'm sorry, it's cold outside. Yep. And I'm glad I had my sweater from BSN, a little quarter zip action. Came in real handy. There were some interesting outfits going on at the U-High game. I don't know if BSN gets the full pajama thing, but I am very appreciative of the nice outfit that we are able to wear. Look, they can outfit your team. They've got the equipment for your team. And they can do it with the brands nationally, with representatives locally.
I had to put my little heavier jacket on tonight. That wind was, you know, you start getting those first cool fronts coming in, and
when you started trying to snuggle with me, that's when I threw the
that's
line.
when Todd left.
I was like, no, that's got to change, you know. But you know, Cade, we always talk about in the playoffs. Sometimes you need a break to go your way.
That's right.
Have to have something go your way. But our next guest. I
don't know if they've had to have a break because they're kicking butt right now.
Yeah, they did. They played very solid tonight with the W.
West Feliciana gets the win tonight, and they advance to the quarterfinals of the Class 3A bracket. Coach Hudson Fuller joins us now. Coach, thanks so much for joining us. I believe the first time here on the Scoreboard Show.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me.
Coach, 2 weeks in a row, you've played well. Went on the road as an underdog. I kind of predicted that one to happen, and then beat a really good number 4 seed Iowa tonight. Take us through the game tonight.
Just really proud of our players. You know, they've been through a lot of adversity through the season and learned a lot of hard lessons. Saw some adversity really through the course of this week, and so just really proud of them. You know, playing a full 4-quarter game and finding a way to outlast the competition and move on to the next round. So proud of our guys. You know, a lot of great things on offense, defense, and then special teams really showed up for us tonight as well.
You know, defensively, you give up 27 tonight. Man, people say, well, that's 27 points. But when you go look at what Iowa has done throughout the course of the year, they've been averaging 43.2 going into tonight. So your defense fared pretty well.
Yeah, defense showed up to play tonight. You know, they throughout the course of the year had really put out some explosive plays on offense, and we were able to limit those tonight. And really proud of those guys for showing up. Coach Harrison and the rest of the defensive staff just did a great job of getting our kids prepared.
You know, from a coaching perspective, talk about how gratifying it is. I know you said you're real proud of them, but it's really more in depth, I think, than anybody outside of yourself knows when you watch your kids go through adversity and struggles, and then they come up with something like this. It's just like, it just makes you feel, you know, I can't really put the word. It is proud, and it's just like, but it's just, you really can't explain the feeling. Obviously, I'm having trouble doing it, but I mean, because it's just something that money can't buy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is, as coaches, this is why we do it. You know, you get a group of players through the course of the season, and they experience setbacks, and they really have a choice in those setbacks to doubt themselves or to really trust the process and learn from the mistakes and get better every week. And our players have really just bought into that. We played great competition through the course of the year. Had some games that didn't go our way, but the ones that didn't go our way, we learned from, and we're able to be playing our best football now because of that.
I know we couldn't get out of this interview without a follow-up question and asking how the offensive line has played, especially our student athlete of the week, Wiles Guilfoyle.
Yeah, I mean, they showed up big time tonight. Really, the run game on offense for us was what really got the job done. I think we had over 275 yards on the ground, and O-line, tight ends, running backs, our quarterback did a great job in the run game as well. So playoff football, you got to be able to run the ball, and so really proud of those guys' growth and just the effort they play with. Great job by them tonight.
Hudson, we talk about when you get to the quarterfinal weeks, Thanksgiving week. At that point, anything can happen. And talk about what your week will be like this week. A lot of people, it could be different, it could be the same, but the biggest thing is you shouldn't have any distractions with school and those type things. What will your practice schedule be? What will you change or alter going forward, or this week anyway?
Yeah, you want to keep things as routine as possible. So, while also taking advantage of not having school and being able to allow players to rest a little bit. So things for the most part will stay the same. Thanksgiving Day, try to alter the practice schedule a little bit so that players can go spend time with family and those kind of things, and then come back and be ready to be focused up on Friday.
It's always interesting to listen to coaches talk about their practice plans, because you'll see some. I know at Redemptorist we kept it at the same time that they would normally get out of school, except for Thanksgiving Day, and that was obviously a morning. Then you'll talk to some coaches that'll go at 8 o'clock, and before noon they're at home all afternoon. So it's really interesting to hear different philosophies and different reasons why.
I think a lot of people are happy you messed up their hunting season. I don't hunt, Coach. I have no idea how to shoot a gun. Well, maybe, but I'm not. So I was never a hunter. I'm just like, do what I do. So I wouldn't know how that works, but I know that area is, and I know they're excited about what you're doing and how your team's playing.
It actually starts tomorrow morning.
Yes, sir. And really our community did a great job of just supporting us throughout the course of this week for this game. From the students at our elementary school writing letters to our players, wishing them good luck in tonight's game.
Wow.
Really the whole community coming out and supporting us. It's just a testament to why this community is so special and why we take a lot of pride in playing for them.
Well, Coach, next week I know you really probably hadn't had a chance to look ahead, but you get a tough draw. You travel to Church Point, 12-0 now. Defense is only allowing 2.9 points a game. I was going into tonight, but it's going to be a good one. I think that you're battle tested. You've played teams as good or better than them already playing in this Baton Rouge district.
Yeah, I mean they've definitely got a tradition of success that speaks for itself. When you get to this level of the playoffs, you got to expect the competition to be high level, and as a team, you got to go and really empty the tank every week. So we look forward to preparing.
Coach Fuller, thanks so much for your time tonight. Best of luck in the quarterfinals.
Thank you.
Hey, guys, let's take a look before we go to break at the rest of the 3A bracket. Pretty stacked at the top with Sterlington and Madison Prep, and now Church Point, who's been playing incredible with West Feliciana, who's getting hot at the right time. But Church Point will be a tough opponent. St. Martinville, Lutcher, Union Parish, Abbyville.
You have some really good teams in there. Sterlington we'll have to play Madison Prep 11-0, 12-0 now. Sterlington, they're averaging 43. They've scored 40 points or more in 7 or 8 of their 12 games now. They have a few good wins over Mangum and Union Parish, Oak Grove.
Jimmy, Madison Prep earlier in the season, they beat Southern Lab, and I think Lab maybe struggled in another game, but we just wasn't sure what Madison Prep had or how good they are. They're very good. And Southern Lab is too,
Yeah.
And we just kind of questioned there at that one point.
Madison Prep went to St. Thomas More, remember that first week in Hurricane, and won on a late field goal. Then they had a game where Southern Lab was actually up 16-0 in 3 possessions in the second half inside the red zone and got no points against them. But Madison Prep gave U-High all they wanted. I was at that game. They're playing well. I really like the way that Coach Landry's done a good job of altering his schemes to fit his personnel. They've basically have ran 3 different offenses in the last 3 years. And the thing is, Zion Chris, he's going to usually, pretty much every game he plays at this level in 3A, he's going to be the best player on the field. And Coach Williams says about him, he could care less about his stats. All he wants to do is win.
Well, talk a little bit about that, because we did earlier today about the really versatility of him over the 3 years that he's been quarterbacking at Madison Prep.
Yeah, Zion in his, I think he's a 3 or 4 year starter. His sophomore year, I think he threw for over 3,000 yards. They spread it out. They chunked it all over the place. Had some good receivers. Then you go the next year, that's when Major Burns and that group, they had a couple of players that played defensive back and wide receivers. Then the following year, they didn't have those guys. They had the Tyrell Raby kid who went to Memphis. He was their best receiver, but it was only one. So they would actually line up in some I formation. They become more of a power running type team, and he was able to win that away, won a state championship. And then this year, you see them, they're not a spread, but they're not a I team either. I call them multiple, like, more so than anything. And they're using his legs this year. He had 10 carries last night, 126 yards. I think 6 of them went for first downs. So he's able to beat you any way in any type of offense. And I think it goes a credit to Zion, and I think it goes a credit to Coach Williams also.
That's good on that young man, because how many stories do we hear where you tuck it and run, so to speak, when, the offense is changing, it's not benefiting me directly, right?
Or it's not going to tell your coach we're going to throw 20 times, you're going to go somewhere else.
Yeah. It's not going to add to my highlight reel. It's not going to add to my huddle film or whatever the case may be. It's not what I want to do when I get to college or whatever you think. So good on him to be able to work.
And a big key for Coach Williams, Ronald Harris is a returning all-state defensive tackle that plays next to Quincy Wiggins, which gets all the credit, can go to any school in the Power 5 school he wants. He's had a high ankle sprain week 1, if I'm not mistaken, was the week he got hurt. He came back in week 10, and I asked Coach Williams about this kid before they played U-High, and he said, I'm not worried about that. He's not going to play. He said, this is a game where us and U-High find out a little bit about ourselves and who we are. He said, but that's not the big picture. I have my eyes on the big picture. And to his credit, he sat an all-state guy that could have played to get him ready for the playoffs in this run.
He likes to celebrate his birthday, don't he?
He likes to celebrate his birthday. That's right.
I bet he does state championships as well.
But that's going to be a big game up there. And, Church Point, like I said, they've allowed 26 points in 12 games now. They have 7 starters back on defense that are 3-year starters. They're going to run the wing tee. They have their running back in the Citizen kid. That one, West Feliciana. West Feliciana's hot. You always got to peak at the right time. 2 good wins for those. St. Martinville Lutcher. That should be a super high scoring game. You're going to see 2 of the best dual threat quarterbacks in the state, and Tanner Harrison, who has 1,143 yards passing. He has 1,100 yards rushing. He's combined for 31 touchdowns. And you have Dewani Lunch Winfield, who's rushed for 965. No, he's passed for 965, and he's rushed for 1,238 yards. Both big physical running backs that they're going to do a lot of the power reads and zone reads and just straight quarterback runs. And then you got at the bottom side Union Parish, Trey Holly. He's at regular season. He led the state last year in rushing. He's close. He's not going to get it, I don't think, now, but he was real close to pushing Nick Brissett for the state rushing record. And then you got Abbyville. Rod Moy's doing a great job over there in his second year. They got a back named Blake Sadler, who in the regular season 1,700 yards, averaged 12.5 yards a carry. So that bracket is loaded in 3A. There's going to be some really good games.
Talk to you real quick. New device, say baseball. Look,
I thought you was fixing to hit me over the head with that.
Look, Taylor, can we come right here so I can show this real quick? All right, so it's called Rip Grip Pro for Tress Sullivan out of New Orleans is doing this. Got some people behind him. It's really a good idea. The whole purpose is to get your bat in the zone quicker and stays in the zone longer. All right, it almost takes these two fingers out of your swing, but you still put as much pressure on it as you'd like. Like in golf, if we have trouble rolling over, we'll fatten the grip, and it keeps your hands from rolling over. So this is keeping you in the zone longer. Rip Grip Pro, I suggest you go to ripgrippro.com, ripgrippro.com to see more about it. It will do a better job explaining it than I just did.
I agree.
All right, we'll take a quick time out.
Jackass.
And we'll be right back here on the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, and your view.
Do you have or have you had COVID-19? Antibody screening or rapid molecular testing can tell you. Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours offers both with results from molecular testing in minutes. Learn more at lakeurgentcare.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli? I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Bayou Ford has 0% for 60 months on new Ford F-150s. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And now 0% for 60 months on Ford F-150s. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou...
The Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Class 5A playoff bracket served by walk-ons.
West Monroe will travel to Zachary, and Ruston will travel to Destrehan. Ouachita Parish will travel to Ponchatoula, and Acadiana will host Parkway.
Class 4A playoff bracket cared for by Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours.
George Washington Carver will host Edna Carr, and Northwood Shreveport will host 5-seed Westgate. Warren Easton will host Belle Chasse, and Neville will host Cecilia.
Class 3A playoff bracket presented by Livingston Parish Councilman Gary Talbert.
Madison Prep will travel up north to Sterlington, and West Feliciana will travel on over to Church Point. Lutcher will travel to St. Martinville, and Union Parish will travel down to Abbyville.
Class 2A playoff bracket pumped by Peak Performance.
Rose Pine will travel to Manny, and Avoyles will travel to North Caddo. General Trask will host a meet, and Jonesboro Hodge will travel to Franklin.
Class 1A playoff bracket strengthened by Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Basile will host Logansport, and Oak Grove will travel to West St. John. Grand Lake will host Haynesville, and White Castle will host Homer.
The Select Division I playoff bracket cared for by Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours.
St. Paul will travel to Memorial to play Catholic of Baton Rouge. Jesuit, Short Road, hosting Brother Martin.
The Select Division II playoff bracket presented by Livingston Parish Councilman Gary Talbert.
St. Thomas More will travel on to Thibodaux to face Edie White, and Vanderbilt Catholic travel to University High.
The Select Division III playoff bracket pumped by Peak Performance.
Isidore Newman will travel to Lafayette to face Lafayette Christian, and St. Charles will travel to Crowley.
The Select Division IV playoff bracket strengthened by Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Calvary Baptist will travel to Monroe, face Ouachita Christian, and Southern Lab will host St. Frederick.
Thank you, Skip, getting our scores together tonight. And you can follow us on Twitter at Louisiana Prep for a complete listing of tonight's finals. Thanks to Will in the background helping gather scores for our ticker. Guys, looking back at the brackets, yeah, Jimmy?
I think those guys down in Zachary that do all that cooking, I think they've already started tailgating for this West Monroe game coming back from the East Ascension game. I think they stopped and started tailgating a little early.
Well,
nothing wrong
they're
with it.
prepared.
Time. That's right.
If there's anything, for
got
my
to
trip
stay
down
hydrated.
there, they are prepared.
That's right.
Let's look at the 4A bracket. Top half has top seed Edna Carr taking on Carver, Westgate, and Northwood Shreveport.
Yeah, Carr's just in a class by themselves right now, other than Neville in that one. The Plaquemine, first off, hats off to Coach Lejeune over there.
Absolutely.
At Plaquemine, went from 0-4 to 5-4. Took over a bad situation and made something out of it. It gave those kids a chance to have some success, and one of the best coaching jobs of the year in the state.
Jimmy, this was a graphic I had earlier about Plaquemine, and I'll just tell you how things changed. In the first half of the season, they were 0-5. They were only scoring 13 points a game, giving up 34.5, which was a differential of about 21.5. The second half of the season, they went 5-0. They were scoring 46 points per game, only allowing 19, which was a 27-point differential. Total of about 48 points turnaround between the first 5 games in the back five. That's unheard of.
It's incredible what he did. And look, they played 4 quarterbacks their first week, their first 4 games. Their quarterback goes down last week when they were down against Salmon, and they come back and still win the ball game. He did not play tonight, from my understanding, or wasn't supposed to. I don't know if he did or not. But also Clark Nosentelli, a guy that we coached with back in the day at Redemptors. He started actually his career with me as a 9th grade coach, and he did a heck of a job as a defensive coordinator. Also, you talk about that. Cade Westgate wins tonight, 16-17. They will play Northwood Shreveport. The thing with Westgate is I think they're talented enough to beat anybody, but every single year, and we've talked about this, they're going to have a letdown game, and when is it going to be? That's the thing that you have to worry about. Northwood Shreveport, they've won 7 in a row now. They're going to be a hot team. That should be a decent game. The one at the bottom part of the bracket, 2 games caught my eye. Belle Chasse beating Huntington. Belle Chasse has the 11th seed. Huntington has the 6th. Huntington, what were they, 9-2 going into tonight? But they had only played 2 good teams, and that was Byrd and Neville. And in those 2 games, they'd been outscored 80-14. And Belle Chasse that's a long trip from Belle Chasse to Huntington. And then we also have to mention, Todd, the Neville Carencrow game was a shocker to me.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't see it.
But before I get to that, so I know how long that trip is from Belle Chasse to Huntington, because I remember Huntington's team, girls softball team, traveling to Belle Chasse.
Yep.
And they were terrible. But they traveled all the way down to Belle Chasse. They played 3 innings, got beat 15-0, and turned right back around, went back up to Huntington. That's what point being, that's what the stupid split does, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But, Neville, but Carencrow, they went foot to foot. They ran what they ran, and they just kept – I think they had a drive in the 3rd quarter that extended into the 4th that was about maybe 10 minutes long, and they went and scored. And, you got to give credit to those kids. And they are young, and they played like they played, and Coach Corville can get them up to play like that. Hats off to him as well.
The injuries that they've had, they were starting their 4th quarterback of the year. They were 3rd-string running backs, and they're all young. And now, but as bad as it went for Carencrow this year, the experience that they got here later in the year is going to play dividends for them next year. Just like Todd said, they're a young team.
Here's something.
Cecilia 2-overtime win over Lakeshore. I thought that was a big game.
So here's something to know about 4A. Ever since the split, Neville, Carr, and Warren Easton have all made the quarterfinals. So they're 9 of 9. Zachary has 2 in 5A.
Right.
Some familiar names in that 4A bracket.
Correct.
Want to go real quick before we get to break into the 2A bracket. And outside of the matchup featuring our new friend, Coach Johnson, down there at the bottom, kind of stands to form when it comes to 2A. Manny, Rose Pine, North Cattle of Oil, General Trash, Amite, as far as seedings go.
Yeah, the Rose Pine Red River game, we predicted that one to be a high-scoring game. It ended up, it was double overtime. Ethan Frey is the quarterback at Rose Pine. He's a stud athlete. He's a LSU baseball commitment. The only game that they lost during the year was a hard one to understand. It was to Logansport, which is like 6-4 in 1A, even though they're the number 1 seed. But he was going to a baseball thing out in Phoenix or somewhere like that and missed that. Yeah. So with him, I mean, heck, they're undefeated. So they'll go to Manny next week. Everything else kind of held course. The big one is next week. If you take Manny out of it, you have General Trask and Amite next week. That one there could very well be your state championship team game. Amite, of course, they had to forfeit their first 2 games on the season. General Trask is going to come in, I think they're 2nd in the state behind Calvary and scoring at 53.8 going into it. They scored 48 or more.
And that one's at Trask, right?
That one's going to be at Trask.
Last one out, turn up the lights.
Yeah, they scored 48 points in 9 out of their 10 games. But Amite's defense they're undefeated on the field and only give up 10 points a game. That's going to be a good one. something's got to give.
That's going up to Transylvania.
Yes.
I think that's going to help. I thought they got out in front of Welsh tonight pretty good. And I think we know General Trask is a good team, but have they made that step to be that championship team? They'll find out next week.
Right.
And I'm wishing them the best of luck because I think Coach has done a great job up there in that community.
Last year they got to the semis, I think it was, and Manny beat them pretty handily, but it was good. It was a good game for a little while.
Best coaching job in the state was at General Trask by a long shot.
Yes.
Well, if they see Manny this year, you would have to be in the finals, a little rematch there. So we'll see.
Maybe I could be ball boy there.
We can make that happen.
But you talk about everything holding to form in 2A. A lot of it, again, here it's going to have to do with the watered down brackets because right at about 16 or 17, you start seeing teams that are 500 or worse.
Right. Teams that would have been below 30 had it been a 30 or 30 below 32.
The only thing that didn't hold true was, of course, Franklin beating Loreauville, the number 2 seed tonight.
Congratulations again to Coach Tremaine Johnson over there at Franklin. We'll come back. One more segment to go here in this playoff round 2 edition of the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and your view.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back, North Airway off of Airline Highway.
Tonight, we invite you to celebrate life, wherever and whenever you can, understanding that time is never on our side. Instead, gather up your friends tonight and share a few stories and laughs over a good bottle of wine. Or maybe a family meal that gives everyone a chance to reconnect and remember what's really important, whether it's for a birthday, an anniversary, or simply to remind someone special that they are loved. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CB.
The Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. We're going to roll through a couple more brackets before we get out of here, looking at Class 1A, guys. Start first. Speaking of teams scoring big, Logan Sport did so, and they get ready to take on Basile at the top half of the bracket in the quarterfinals of 1A next week.
I think this one's a little bit more open than in the past. I think Oak Grove was pretty dominant last year. I see Homer.
Oh.
Yep. You know,
I think it's Homer and Oak Grove in the finals, to be honest with you. White Castle, though, Mark Brown, we talked with him Sunday. What was it, 41-40 win over LaSalle. White Castle stops a 2-point conversion, as Todd mentioned earlier, with 27 seconds. And we talked about scheduling. White Castle started the year 0-5, but they played up in classification and played some higher-ranked teams. And Mark, we talked about scheduling. You can schedule to win games, or you can schedule to win championships. And Mark scheduled to win championships, and he texted me earlier that if they don't play those games earlier in the year, they don't win this game tonight.
Well, also the plus or the incentive to do that for 1A schools is they get additional power points for each class that they play up. So if a 1A plays a 2A, 1A is going to get an additional 2 points and so forth and so on. And if you happen to win one of those, it's a huge plus. So, you know, and the whole thing is while you're losing and you continue to coach, these things happen, and that's what Coach Brown and his staff have continued to do.
I guess it's only a loss if you don't grow from it, if you can't get better from it. It's really, truly a loss. Catholic High advances in Division One.
Good comeback win for Coach Semino and those guys. I'll be seeing several of those guys tomorrow afternoon at a engagement party for Jake Kluwart that I have to go to. At Coconut Willie's will be sponsoring that one.
Yeah. You going to get a Tiki Man?
I'm going to get a Tiki Man out there tomorrow. What? But Catholic High with a big win. St. Paul's would upset over Scotlandville in overtime 20-17. Brother Martin just continues to steamroll people. Now, they're going to play Jesuit, which beat John Curtis for the second time. They beat them 17-13 and then 14-13. Jesuit and Brother Martin earlier in the year went into double or triple overtime. Jesuit had an opportunity to win that game, kicked the field goal on first down, and missed it. Or Jesuit would have won that game. And then ever since that point, that was in week 2. Brother Martin has been on a roll. If you remember their first 2 games, Brother Martin scored 8 points and 7 points in regulation. That was against EA and Jesuit. And since that time, both teams have both teams have been on a roll.
You know, and I'm sitting there as you're telling me, the first thing I'm saying to myself, am I second guessing myself for kicking it on first down? That answer is no, because he made that decision based on what, you know, his kicker was showing.
Right.
It's that's always interesting.
Yeah.
In Division 2, another theme of the night is defensive that just keeps playing well, and that's Edie White holding Parkview. No matter what you want to say there, to 3 points. They get ready for a bigger offensive challenge next week.
We're going to see what kind of defense they really are, but going into it, obviously they're good. They're allowing 6 points a game, but St. Thomas More is playing well. Hats off to Coach Trosclair and his guys on their first year in varsity football. Heck of a year. Yeah, U-High will play Vanderbilt. U-High over De La Salle. I think that was a good win for U-High tonight.
Terriers coming to town.
In Division 4, Division 3, I know we're going to be real quick right here. Lafayette Christian gets their first win ever over Ascension Episcopal. Ascension Episcopal from 2013 to 16 was actually 4-0 against Lafayette Christian. So Arch Manning and Newman was a big 37-6 winner over Episcopal with Lane Kiffin in the crowd, hanging out with Eric Held over there tonight, and they will travel. I just think Lafayette Christian's defense too good. In the one that's should be an unbelievable game is Notre Dame hosting St. Charles again. Coach Wayne Stein down there at
defense they play, man.
Their defense is just so good. What are they giving up, Todd?
It's now under. They gave up 14 to Vanderbilt Catholic. They gave up 7 to Arch.
I have it.
It's about.
They're allowing 3 points a game. They have. 3 points a game they're allowing. This is their 8th, I think, straight year they're going to be in the semifinals. So that's going to be a barn burner down there.
I wonder how Coach Monica's holding up watching all this and not being a part of it. He probably likes it, but to
I
some
always
extent,
love that Louis Cook, Frank Monica coaching there.
30 seconds, guys. Division 4 semis.
Washita Christian and Calvary probably could be a state championship game. Southern Lab will have something to say about it.
All right, St. Frederick's coming here?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks so much to Andy Robinson from over at St. Frederick, Tremaine Johnson at Franklin, and Hudson Fuller over at West Feliciana. For Ryan and Taylor and Skip and Will, Coach Todd Black, Coach Jimmy Roy, I'm Cade Wazan. We will see you next week, quarterfinals here on the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana